Japan is one of my favorite countries to travel to, and I've made over 150 travel videos on this one country alone. And a question that comes up over and over again are people asking me, Chris, do you speak Japanese? How much Japanese do you speak? I'm going to be answering those questions in this video and also answering the question of how much Japanese do you really need to know to visit Japan, and can you get around without knowing any Japanese at all? There's actually different dialects of Japanese, so you might have been taught the traditional Tokyo one, but there's actually different dialects around the country. You go to Osaka and they speak a little bit differently down there. Now, you're probably wondering, Chris, do I need to know Japanese? Can I get by if I only speak English? I only speak English. I don't really speak much Japanese. I speak a little bit of Japanese. I know some phrases. I can say like, Mizu kudasai, please give me water. Or biru kudasai, please give me beer. So yes, it's useful in any country you go to, including Japan, to learn a few phrases so that you can say, Ohayo, good morning, or you can say, arigato, thank you very much. But you definitely do not have to be fluent in Japanese to come to Japan. In the big cities, you will find most of the young people speak English. They've all been taught English in schools, but although while they understand it, they may not be able to speak it very well. Why? They don't get a lot of chances to practice speaking it. You'll find the older generations will know a few phrases. They'll know things like, check this one to go. For here, like 2-word phrases are phrases that they know. You sit in a taxi, they'll know address, do you have an address? They'll know seatbelt please, but they won't be able to carry on a long conversation with you. In the subways in the big cities, you will find them all to be signed in English and also announced in English. And you'll find many of the train staff will have a little badge that says like English, or they'll have like a flag on it to show you that they speak English. You'll also find a lot of staff at information centers where they'll have signs to say like English available. And in a place like Tokyo, you'll find tons of English restaurants at menus. If you don't see one, you can always ask the staff, do you have an English menu? And worst comes to worst, if you're in a restaurant and you can't speak Japanese and they don't have an English menu, just use the point and order method. They have all that plastic food that's out in front. You can take a picture of it out in front and then bring it into the restaurant and say, this one, or at the menu, if the menu has pictures, same thing, you can just say this one and this one. I do that quite a bit. Now, if you're going out into the suburbs, like you're going out into the Japanese countryside, the English language menus, the English language signage does tend to fall off, and so you'll need to be a little bit braver if you're heading out of the main metropolitan pockets of civilization. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering where I am right now, I am definitely in one of the big metropolitan pockets. I am at the rooftop garden of Ginza 6. This is one of Tokyo's major department stores, and pretty much every department store and many of the department stores across Japan have these things, rooftop gardens. They're free to come in, open to the public, have lunch, relax, chill out, and enjoy the view. Great views of here. You can see down the main Ginza Street, and you can see like the multi-story Uniqlo flagship. It's just a cool perspective to come up to these rooftop areas, and it's neat how they maintain them just for public use. I mean, I'm sure they really want you to do some shopping while you're here, which I just may. Let me go see what Ginza 6 has to offer. Oh, and one more thing that's like kind of funny about Japanese that you should know when you come here is they definitely use a lot of loan words from English. They take the English word and they just like modify it ever so slightly. So for example, if you were ordering a hamburger in Japan, hamburger. If you were getting a coffee in Japan, kohi. So the Japanese words for some things legitimately sound like words you already know. So if you don't know the Japanese, just try the English, because chances are it might actually be close to the Japanese. And if you are planning a trip to Japan, you'll definitely want to check out my full Japan travel guide, where I answer everything you need to know to visit this country, including how to get around, how to get in, some of the best things to eat, and more. And if you're still planning out your itinerary, trying to figure out some of the best places to go, you'll definitely want to dive into my full Japan playlist to check out some of the 150 other videos I've got in the country, from Kyushu in the south to Hokkaido in the north.